Will South Africa be ready to deal with the coronavirus? A matter of contingency reserves coming up during Finance Minister Tito Mboweni's briefing in Parliament on the 2020 budget. He delivered yesterday. SABC parliamentary reporter Manelisi Dubase joins us now to talk about that. So Manelisi, we'll talk about the issue of the coronavirus in just a moment, but I believe that it is during that briefing that the Finance Minister said, given his budget speech, he's fairly confident that South Africa can stave off a downgrade by Moody's.
Yes, indeed. So he said that this is his traditional briefing. After the budget speech, he has to brief members of parliament and they have to pose questions to him. But with a raft of measures that he announced in terms of trying to slow down our expenditure and trying to deal with the issue of our debt to the GDP and the fact that, he didn't increase taxes such as VAT, such as the personal income tax. He says that he thinks that they have done enough, and of course the announcement that they will be cutting down the wage bill and saving up to 160 billion rand. He has hope that the Moody's especially are going to respond positively.
So let's talk about Eskom. That was also highlighted, the issue of Eskom's debt being transferred to the PIC, also raised, including that private pensions could possibly or should possibly be considered to help out Eskom on its debt.
There are still negotiations in that regard, Sepi. So you know that there is some controversy around using pensions to address the Eskom debt. You know that was the pigeon was put among the cat by COSATU last week when they decided that the PIC should in fact take about 250 billion rand of the Eskom debt. Many trade unions across the board actually they rejected that, and even some people, they thought that is throwing a good money, to a company that doesn't have any chance of recovering that amount of money. So there are still negotiations. The Minister of Finance will be at Nedlec tomorrow. The issue of the Eskom debt and the wage bill are going to be on the agenda of that meeting. So we will see how far are they going to go. But yes, the issue of Eskom debt is still one of the matters that has been resolved.
Let's talk about the public sector wage bill, Manelisi. What was his demeanor, given the fact that the unions are clearly nonplussed, in fact, infuriated by this suggestion? He, though, seems to be calling on people to accept it, saying that he thinks it should be encouraged.
So look, he has no other way whatsoever. I mean, he has to cut down the wage bill. But as you just said, that the unions are vehemently opposed to this. And even other parties here in Parliament, the EFF, for instance, they say there are other means of, cutting down the expenditure without cutting the wage bill. So tomorrow, Minister Mboweni and other ministers will be meeting with the trade unions and other stakeholders at the Nedlec to try to clarify exactly how are they going to go about this. I suspect, so that the manner in which they will go about it is that the people who are at least at the age of about 55, they will be allowed to take the retirement funds or to retire, basically. And those posts that are vacant, I don't think they are going to be fulfilled.
Okay. So Manelisi, let's talk very quickly then about the contingency reserves. We mentioned the fact that the minister wondered whether or not we are in a position to protect South Africans should the coronavirus hit our shores. What exactly is concerning him here?
Well, it's a very small amount of money, so it's 5 billion rand this year, and then in the next 3 years it will be another 5 billion. It will be 15 billion rand all in all. I mean, if you can look at other countries, the US, for instance, they are talking about putting aside $8.9 billion just to try to, to prevent the spread of this virus. he says that if any such thing, I mean, even just, you know, the storms, you know, in the Mozambique or elsewhere in our neighboring countries, they say normally they would always ask assistance from South Africa. And with that amount of money, there is no way that we can make any impact.
All right, thank you very much, Manelisi Dubase, my colleague who is in our parliamentary studios there.